Well, hello, folks. Epic, huge day. Huge. Completely unraveling of all Canadian politicians, from premiers across the board, Daniel Smith, Pierre Poilievre, myth busted beyond all measure by Donald J. Trump at the World Economic Forum. Today, live, he goes on the big screen, all of Europe, all of the 9 kingdoms there, all the bad actors, and Donald J. Trump hammers all of them. Goes through the European Union, what's going to happen to them, but more importantly, he releases that which he plans to do to Canada. Exclusively Canada, named, apply as a state, or all your oil and gas locked away. All of your health, medical locked away. That's Quebec. All of your lumber, BC, Ontario, Quebec, locked away forever. All of it. Every ounce of everything in surplus to the United States of America, gone. 44% of Canada's economy, ruining us in primary industry, ruining us in energy exports. This isn't just oil and gas. It was named, and it was named specifically to slam Daniel Smith in the ultimate body slam, so that all Albertans wake up to the delusion now. It's over. What I tried to do more than 8 years ago today is over. Finito. Get it through your head. Done like dinner forevermore. Alberta is not getting a free pass. You're getting tariffs too. You're named. Your industries are named. It's over. 90% of your exports in energy, United States of America. Liquid LNG, none of your imports are going to make it. You missed the WEF. That's all of Quebec's energy industry. Gone. Labrador, gone. Too expensive. It's cheaper for USA to do it themselves, and they will. Many already do, folks. They're going to be doing it themselves. On top of the World Economic Forum, which should make you swing over hard to 51st state now. Come to the reality, the terms. He just spoke to the 9 kingdoms, one of which rules you indefinitely here in Canada. Old Charlie boy probably having a stroke right now as his jewel, number 1 jewel of the British Empire, has just been taken. And it's going to be taken by economic force. And Canadians who still don't get it, and I know a lot don't, I listen to a lot, young people in Canada, Ontarians even, no, it's not true. We buy lots from American trade. No, we don't. Sure, we export a lot to USA from Chinese builds. That's going to get nailed too. Going to get nailed hard. It's coming down the pipeline. Senate confirmations on energy. They all went through. They're getting confirmed. If you don't think tariffs aren't coming February 1st, I'm telling you, it's looking tremendously good as of today. And the Senate appointments, they're going through for confirmation. It's likely they're done and in place by February 1st. That's why Trump's waiting to announce it, because he needs those energy appointments confirmed. And they're going through confirmation. Announced today. That's why the bold talk on energy now released today, because Trump has it on good authority. They're all going to be confirmed. Canada's energy done. 1/3 of our economy, primary sector pure. Done like dinner. Done like dinner. Can't deny that now. If you didn't watch it, Donald J. Trump didn't go to the Economic Forum. They put him on giant big screen. Much questioning It starts the first 10 minutes of the WEF, World Economic Forum video by World Economic Forum. Undisputable, not AI. He's crushing Europe and many other bad actors. The worst being, the neighbor called Canada. We got hit the hardest for the whole world, all 9 kingdoms to see. You haven't seen nothing yet. Mexico's another mix in this. They're getting it just as bad as Canada. But Canada's been named, industries have been named, 44% of our economy. Gonzo will be toast within 2 short years. Mark my words. Before midterms USA, Canada will be in the worst economic crisis that's ever been seen. Now, Canadians, you can join the 51st state Canada. You can spread it to all your friends. We're doing that. USA is at the point they know that that Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau, who's currently Prime Minister, only have 2 options. Get crucified by the populist, which will happen to Doug Ford. That's why he wants an immediate early election. He's that much of a scumbag. Giving all Ontarians $200. Vote for me. I'm going to protect the Ontario crown against Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump's laughing at every premier. He body slammed Doug Ford in automotives. The auto industry is finished. Body slammed EVs. Finished. Canada's models. Finished. Not that anyone's told you holds water. Because how are you going to get the money in your tremendous deficits with all your other trading partners? We only have one real surplus in this world, Canada, and it's called the United States of America. And Trump is ending that. Out of your $544 billion revenue stream, more than $200 to $250 billion of it comes from that surplus USA. That is your bread and butter. And if you lose that, you've lost more than a third of your economy. Way more than a third. It's up at 44%. That's Donald Trump's easy solution that barely affects America in any meaningful way, meaning tit for tat, Canada will starve out long before USA ever has to flinch. It will be serious effects. People keep trying to argue that Canada's going to somehow create all of these massive value and supply chains that take 10 years to establish. Not going to happen, Canadians. Not going to happen on your life. Your family and you will be impacted beyond any measure not seen since the Great Depression, and even worse than that. You have to go to a region called Alberta, a province called Dust Bowl, Alberta, from the early 1900s. I know my family lived through it. We warned of this stuff. My family did. My great-grandparents and beyond warned about not allowing this to happen. And what did Canada do? Made it happen by destroying any idea of interstate trade, of seeing the global stage from your corrupt politicians. Well, now we have a president who is standing up to all the globalists and billionaires and saying, sorry, Canada, we're cutting out all of these bad actors in America. We're going with the good actors. They're going to win. They're going to win. And even the bad actors are going, yep, we're on board, Donald J. Trump. No, we don't want to see our market share lost because we were corrupted with Canada. No, siree. We don't want to do that. We're going to move. And they're already moving fast. Energy can't move. That's going to be a sad reality for Alberta, northern BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, northern Quebec, Labrador, even all the way affecting New Brunswick. But at least they have a port. But a lot of their economy depends on the rest too. It's a sad state of affairs for Canada. Even what they do with Saudi Arabian oil is going to get amplified by tariffs. So all bets are off, but really 70% of the Canadian population is going to experience hard economic times, hardest ever seen probably in Canadian history. And it's all about starving Canadians out until they force their politicians to end the crown, take the 51st state. They are going to boycott through veto any idea of Alberta independence or Alberta 51st state or Quebec independence, Quebec 51st state. They don't trust you. They want the district system. They want to secure all of Canada. That's what Donald Trump said from the beginning. That's what GOP is going to do. If people don't get it, you will get it in very, very short order, very soon. Unmyth-bustable, undeniable, right out of Donald J. Trump's mouth, right to the heart of it, Davos, the World Economic Forum, for all the 9 kingdoms to see, all for Charles to know that his days are over, that Canada is going to be American, it's going to be a 51st state. One way or another, Canadians who don't see it today are going to know it in a very short amount of time. And I know still many are going to say, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Not going to do any of it. Your crown sold you out a very long time ago. Shell left this country, did an op-ed for me for Alberta independence almost 8 years ago today, saying, follow this narrative or it's game over. And shortly thereafter, my epic loss in Alberta for Alberta independence, the idea that we were going to do all those things, establish all of those ports, those trade infrastructures, and do that for Alberta, that ship has sailed. Shell left. They left all the leases in BC. Nobody trades there anymore. Trudeau helped that along. Conservatives are already well on their way to helping that along. They never wanted it either. Harper was a sellout. Daniel Smith is in bed with Pierre Poilievre, the biggest sellout under Harper. He's no different than Trudeau. Maxime Bernier is no salvation. He's crushed in America too. You know he's a piece of shit. I had the tremendous privilege of explaining that to Americans. All of high academia knows. They know. They're going through it with Jamaica right now. They know the idea of the Third Republic. They're not stupid to the world. They have files this thick. Many American academics have studied all these people in tremendous detail. They know. The days of the evil, the corrupted, the crown are going to be over. And they know they need to move the mountain called Canadians. There's 40 ways that most countries can be transformed nicely. Unfortunately, for Canada, none of those work. You're just too institutionalized in your government's corruption, in their divinity. You believe they're divine. You believe in divine leaders, a 5,000-year-old model of slavery, subjugation, the epicenter of socialist and fascist principles. The definition of fascism is Canada. It isn't going to be anymore. Not under Donald J. Trump. And all these changes he makes are going to be forevermore. So it doesn't matter even after him or after midterms. It's Canada's detriment. Because the longer you go, the more destructive the economic change is. The more likely you're just going to be begging to be a territory, a broken territorial system, imposed government. And then the work takes many, many decades. If you don't believe it, you need to look at Louisiana. You need to look at the Spanish-American history of all those states, all of the Louisiana states. You need to look at it. They converted in this narrative. They changed. And it was all done by economics, normal economics, quality of the person. The people changed. It just took a longer time. Right now, Justin Trudeau can apply to the American Congress for statehood. He can say, you win, I was wrong. He can beg for all of the crown from Donald J. Trump. He can beg for Donald J. Trump as President of the United States to pardon him and all crown appointments from any further prosecution, criminally, not civilly, so we can still get our own money. But all the crimes against humanity, they can be pardoned for in the United States under President. If Justin Trudeau and his Liberals and NDP decide that maybe the best way out at this point, before being lynched by our own people down the road is to apply to Congress for statehood, just make a unilateral move with their majority supplied by NDP, or they want to protect the crown, they don't. Wait for Pierre Poilievre, and then it's up to all of you Canadians to say, Pierre, you can't win this fight. We're losing all our jobs, our economy. You can't win this fight against America, 10 times our size. Our economy's entirely infused with them. At least 44% of it. We're subject to the United States of America through the corruption of your crown. And maybe Pierre will say, yeah, I'll take that deal. At least I'll take a pardon for all conservatives, and you can still prosecute liberals and NDP. Maybe he'll do that down the road, but I don't know how long until Canadians are screaming bloody murder when our unemployment rates are off the chart, way higher than the Great Depression. I don't know how much stroke any of our Canadian politicians will have at that point, and just how destabilized Canada truly will be. Like I said, it's amazing what's going to happen in my province. It's going to go back to Dust Bowl, Alberta. And with our tremendous populations, it's almost hard to fathom just how chaotic and crazy this country would get in that scenario. And if you take Donald Trump as a lunatic, like a lot of people are trying to say, or that it's just bullshit, it's just not going to happen, if you wait these 6 months out without standing up to your politicians now, or demanding your politicians apply for statehood, the 51st state, it's you who's going to be irrevocably destroyed, and your families, meaning the recovery is going to be many, many decades off. All those retired today, unrecoverable, stuck in a crown system for even a decade. We'd be done. Epic to like a Venezuela. I don't know how nutty you have to be as a crown politician at this point to narrate this narrative that they can defeat the GOP and Donald J. Trump in majority Senate and Congress for at least the next 2 years. The destruction is epic and leveling. Approvals and energy by the Senate, if you haven't read it, and that group that's getting confirmed on the drill baby drill, Arctic and Alaska, all through the Midwest, all of the ramp up of pumping carbon into those dead wells, returning massive oil, which they will, double downing on the last major growth that was huge and epic, will cut 75% of Alberta's oil and gas gone. Almost 100% of natural gas from Alberta, BC, all of it. It will make LNG and BC impotent, completely globally impotent. You won't see any of those countries that a lot of those groups under Brian Jean and then David Eby's minister, it's all going to be for nothing. Same with the battery plants proposed in Eastern Canada, all for nothing. So much for nothing, meaning lost tax dollars, a huge loss for taxpayers, eroding the economy even more. We are epically and hugely screwed here. And we need this 51st state Canada. We need it now, by Justin Trudeau in conjunction with Jagmeet Singh or Bloc, or it's going to be Pierre Poilievre, but a lot of damage will already have been seen. A lot of Canadians will be going in the next 3 to 6 months. What in the holy hell? Down with all these politicians. If you don't know that Danielle Smith and all of her propaganda was an epic lie, you should know now. I don't know how you can be an Albertan and call yourself an Albertan and respect Danielle Smith for her epic and astronomical lies. Clearly, Donald Trump to the whole world at the World Economic Forum told you that was an epic lie. Oil and gas are getting nailed to the floor, a destruction of 1/3 of Canada's economy, snap of a finger. And you will see the transition in the next 3 months. Every month, cut back. You will watch the tanks, the reserve tanks in Alberta fill up with nowhere to go because the demand isn't there. Because America's going to keep putting more and more online, even buying from other foreign states, because now they're cheaper than you under your 25% tariffs. People don't get it. You think Quebec is going to be spared? No. Do you think California is going to be buying from Quebec anymore? And they were buying from Alberta, but any of that? No. Think they're going to have that Green New Deal energy agreement under carbon pricing? No, it's over. Californians aren't going to pay that. And California's governor is going to have to say, yeah, we have other sources cheaper that we can do right here at home, and I have to entertain that because Californians won't pay. Reality, truth, credible, real, verifiable, undeniable now. If you think Donald J. Trump's going to get up on a world stage pulpit, slamming all of those 9 kingdoms and then promising the destruction economic of Canada, industry by industry, you're sadly mistaken. You're living in a la-la land. It's time to get out of it. Share, get this video out. I have tremendous work to do tonight. I will post some things, I think, throughout the night, but tonight's a night where I have so much to go through that's happened today, and I work for a living, that it's got to be done. It's got to be done accurately, and I'll post more. God bless you all. Share. Canada, the 51st state. There's no other offer. There's no other outcome but our utter and